Hi guys, it's Ivo from mytestedasp.net, and in this video we're going to make mocking super simple. So before we begin, I would like to mention that if you are new on this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn the bell notifications on because I'm uploading advanced C# lessons every week. Okay, let's begin. To understand mocking, we are going to need a test project, and essentially mocking is used during unit tests. The whole idea is that you need a fake object to represent a real one, and you need fake logic in it, fake returned objects, and the whole the thing is that you need to use that fake object to validate another object's behavior. Let's see an example, because here in this code, this is the code from one of my previous series. It's called How to Write Clean and Testable C# Code. If you haven't watched it, I strongly suggest you do, because I explain a lot of concepts there that make your code having a better quality. So it's the same demo code in which we already created some tests. For example, let's open the home controller test. If we go and see a class name home controller, we will see that if we want to test and assert the index action, we will need to validate that the index action returns a view with number of articles. Here it is that we need to validate that the articles are free. So how do we do that? Well, we inject an interface of iArticle service in this controller, and we get all the articles from it. So when we want to test the home controller, we don't care how the articles are fetched from a database or external server or whatever the place might be. We only care to validate that the index method here in this home controller returns 3 articles. That's the logic we want to validate, and it also returns a view with these 3 articles. So when we decide to assert the home controller, we essentially need to fake or need to mock this iArticle service. The easiest solution is to create a fake object which implements this interface and does nothing else but providing 3 objects here, or more, it doesn't matter. So if I want to test that, I will create a fake article service. Here it is. I have a folder named fakes in which I create a fake object for each object I need in my tests. So I create a fake article service, and as we can see, since the iArticle service interface has quite a lot of methods, it's not very convenient because we need to have a lot of not implemented methods. For example, this one, this one, this one, and so on. Lots of others. So if we have a huge system with lots of interfaces, if we decide to use the following approach by creating a fake class for every interface we need in our test to be mocked, we were going to have quite a lot of files with a lot of missing functionality in our application, which is not the cleanest code out there. So how to create a better implementation of the following fake article service? Well, we're going to use the so-called mocking, which essentially allows us to create a fake object without actually creating an object for that fake, without creating a class. So instead of creating a class, name it fake article service, I can use a mocking framework to create that object for me. It will be easier, and I won't need to write 80 lines of code which have a lot of not implemented exceptions here and there to make my test work. So essentially, mocking is used when we need to have fake objects during testing. And we need fake objects for pretty much everything. Email providers, databases, some Excel importers, Excel exporters, PDF generators, and all different kind of logic, which logic and dependencies on which our controllers and services depend on. So when we need to fake some of these objects, we may create a class for that fake, like here, or we may use a mocking framework which will create the fake object for us without creating an extra class, without polluting our solution with fake objects. So there are a lot of good and widely known mocking frameworks. For example, mock is one of them. Mock, C#. Here it is. This is one of the popular ones, but there's an easier version because I believe mock is a little bit harder to use. It's a little bit difficult to learn, in my opinion. It's not a bad framework. I used it in a lot of my projects, but still it's more difficult to learn than the other solutions available. For example, the easiest one, in my opinion, is FakeItEasy. So let's go and install FakeItEasy in our block test project. I'm going to hit here, FakeItEasy, and I'm going to install it. We can also install the FakeItEasy analyzer, which will allow us to have warnings whenever we use FakeItEasy incorrectly. So I installed FakeItEasy, and instead of creating a whole class like this one, I can just say var fake article service equals a dot fake, and I can specify the interface article service like this. So this essentially creates a fake article service for me. So if I run the test, it should fail because we never set that our fake to return 3 articles. But that doesn't matter. What matters here for now is that we no longer need to create a fake article service class to use the home controller in our tests, which is actually pretty cool. So we run the test and it fails because it returns 0 articles, but that's because we haven't set up our fake article. So the next thing we need to do here is we need to say a call to, and then I need to say if somebody calls O. Why O? Because in home controller I'm calling the O method, which returns an IEnumerable of article listing service model. So if I manage to fake that, and if I manage to say when somebody calls the O method on my fake, return 3 article service listing models. So the whole idea here is that when I say call, when somebody calls the fake O method, he should receive some data. And I can specify when somebody calls the method, return a new list of article listing service model which has 3 models in it. So essentially I'm setuping that my fake article service will return 3 article listing service models if somebody, another object, calls the O method here. So every time the home controller calls the O method during my tests, it will receive 3 articles, because this is how I set up the fake article service. It is easier to set up it this way, because otherwise I need to provide a fake implementation like this one, for example. Here it is. So instead of writing the home method, I can just say whenever somebody calls the O method here, return these 3 article models. But we need to pass a value here. So we may say somebody calls the O method with a page number, a page size, a page number, it doesn't matter. And for example, like this. When somebody calls the O method with page number 3, page size 10, and true as whether to have public only articles, then return 3 article service. But we don't care about the arguments. We only care to have 3 articles returned. So what we can do here is we can say a int, another int, and a bool. What does this mean is that we don't care what kind of arguments are passed to the O method. We just care that whenever calls the fake O method, receives 3 articles here. You can use ignored too. It's whether you're going to use the underscore or the ignore, doesn't matter. So I now have the fake. If I run the tests, it passes. It passes because I created a fake object without creating a fake class, without polluting my solution. I created a fake object and I set up it in a way that no matter with which values the O method of this fake service is called, it should return 3 article listing service model, which is essentially what we expect here. So this is the essentially we mocked and faked this behavior. So mocking and faking allows us to easily create fake objects and set up fake behavior like this one. This is a fake behavior. We don't call a database to get the data we need. We just provide some fake data to be returned. We can also specify something like this: a collection of fake article listing service model, and we can say it free. So every time somebody asks for a fake article service, just return a fake collection of article listing service model. So it's even easier than the manual setup we did before. Okay, so we fixed this test, and this test no longer has a fake article service class. Let's see another one, for example, in the user controller test. Here it is, we have a fake image service. So the fake image service, the user controller uses the fake image service to specify some sort of changing profile pictures and so on. So when we call the user controller, what we want to validate is we want to validate that the change profile picture changes the image URL to a newer image URL. So we created a fake image service which, when receives a call to the update image, like here, we just set the image URL and destination to some values and then validate in the unit test whether these values are correct. This will allow us to assert that the correct data is passed from this controller, the user controller, to the update image method on the image service. So to test this method, the change profile picture, we don't care how the image service updates the image. We care the logic here to be correct. So we need to validate whether the result is okay, and we need to validate the image destination, which is some sort of specific image format. So before faking this image service with FakeItEasy instead of a fake class which just does nothing but setting some properties, completely useless class, completely polluting our solution. So let me show you where you can find the following code, the demos I'm using in my video. So go to my my GitHub profile, which is Ivan Lukianov, like this. Hit repositories, write down TV here, and this is the repository I'm using for my YouTube channel. You can find all the videos I ever created linked here and the source code for them. So essentially you can download it, play with it, you can do whatever you like with it. You can even open a pull request, you can fork it, do whatever you like. I would appreciate if you give the project a star, that would mean a lot to me. And if you want, you can watch this repository, because this way you will not miss a single lesson from me. So if you watch the repository, you see that I've updated and uploaded a new lesson. I'm going to use the moment to thank my sponsors. That's Endeavor, Tsuke, Softuni, Smart IT, Noblehar, and 1-Bit Software. I would like to introduce you to my diamond sponsor. It's a software development company which is always searching for passionate developers and is providing solutions for modern technologies. So if you want to try something new, if you decide to validate, if you decide to have a new job or a new career advancement, you may try to take a look at Endeavor, and they may be your future company. Otherwise, these are my GOAT sponsors: 2K, Softuni, Smart IT, Noblehar, 1-Bit Software. Thank you guys, you truly rock. I appreciate your support. Without you, I wouldn't be that motivated to provide free lessons. So with everything being said, let's continue with the next fake image service. So what I need here is I need to say var fake image service equals a dot fake, and I need to say iMage service like this. So essentially I'm creating a fake image service. What I need to do is I need to say that a call to fake image service dot update image with any kind of parameters, a fake so I need to specify string, and two ints. String ignored, string ignored, int ignored, int ignored. I don't care what kind of I don't care what kind of parameters I'm going to use for this fake call. You can specify specific parameters. If the update image is called with the picture URL, with this specific value, then invoke that. And you can define different behaviors. You can say, okay, when somebody calls with this string, invoke this method. When somebody calls with the other string, invoke another method. So you are specifying the fake behavior with what kind of parameters you want to invoke and fake the behavior. You can also specify when arguments match. So you can also specify some sort of when the image let me call it like this. You can specify it something like this. If image URL equals picture URL true, return true. So you can fake the behavior, and you can say when somebody calls the update image method, when the arguments match the following logic, then invoke that. Otherwise, don't invoke it. So you have quite a lot of options to specify your fake behavior. You can pass it like a method, where arguments match. You can pass it like parameters here, or you can just ignore them because you don't care for specific values. We don't care. We just want to invoke a method when somebody calls the update image. So the update image will receive the same number of arguments, these ones, let me check. Yeah, okay. thought I would have an action. Yeah, I have one. So it should work like this. Here it is. So essentially I'm faking the method behavior, and I'm saying when somebody calls the update method with these ignore values, just invoke this method here. You can also specify it like this, fake, and you have fake arguments here, and you can get the arguments. For example, the first argument and so on, but you can also do it like this. Invoke the same method with the same values. And here I'm going to say var image URL equals image URL. Actually, it's string image URL equals no, and string destination equals no too. So what I need to do is say fake image URL equals the image URL here, and fake destination equals destination. What's this problem here? Yeah, I'm using the wrong variable. Okay, and now what I can do is I can say that I no longer want to use the image service from the fake class here. I want to use the fake image service I created here, and I want to use the fake image URL here, and I want to use the fake destination here. This is how I'm using mocks and fakes to create fake objects without creating fake everything passes, without creating fake classes, extra fake classes. So from now on, this fake image service can be deleted because I'm no longer needing it. I can just create a fake object on the fly by using the FakeItEasy framework. Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult to set up the code for the fake object because it's more straightforward to just implement an interface and create a fake method. But nevertheless, it's still you don't pollute your solution with extra classes, which is essentially what we want. Additionally, when you see your method here, your unit test, you directly see what the problem is. You see how you fake, what are the faked arguments. You see everything directly here. Of course, you can extract this fake generation in a separate method or a separate class, but usually it's not a bad idea to have the fake object set up in the unit test directly because it's easier for you to understand what exactly is happening. Of course, if you have a lot of fake image services used around your code, you may extract the fake generator. Don't copy paste blindly this code in other unit tests. Extract it, but still it's a good idea to have it here like this without having an extra fake classes. So the last thing we're going to do is this fake random service its use in the article controller test. Here it is. We essentially test whether a random action on the article controller returns the correct view, the correct data, the correct article details service model. So what we need to do is we need to provide a fake random service here. This iRandom service needs to be faked. Of course, there are other things that can be faked, but we are going to keep it simple and we are going to just fake the random service for now. But before we continue with that, I'm going to show you my mentorship program. Here it is. It's on Patron, patreon.com/IvailKenov. You may find a link in the description. And in this mentorship program, I try to help you advance your knowledge in the C# and the .NET worlds. I post different kinds of extra materials which are helpful for .NET developers. For example, I provide extra exclusive video lessons, a private community in which you can ask me anything related to code. You may vote for future lessons, you may give me lessons to create, and so on and so on. You may check that Patreon.com out. If we take a look at all the posts so far, I've added community voted lessons, I've added a video for Azure pipelines, step-by-step DevOps solution, I've added a practical guidebook about domain-driven design and clean architecture, the porting the ASP.NET framework from the old to the new version of .NET is voted from here. I've added a model binding live workshop, some C# to C# communication with RabbitMQ, SignalR, and so on. A lot of posts are coming, so if you're interested in this additional content, make sure you subscribe and join a membership level on my Patreon. Thank you for your consideration. Okay, now let's return and let's write another mock for the random service. So here it is. I need to create a fake random service. So what I need to do is I need to say var fake random service equals a fake iRandom service, like this one. And what the fake random service does is just returns the random number. So I need to specify a call to fake random service next. You may also specify it like this: any call to this service throws with any arguments invokes, or you may specify invokes, but with this solution we need to return an int. So essentially the setup code will be fake random service next with any int returns index, or whatever we need to return. Here is index. So let's pass the fake random service and let's try to run the code. As you can see, everything passes, so we no longer need this fake random service here. As you can see, mocking helps me cleaning up my solution. It's again a little bit more difficult and not that straightforward as a fake class, but imagine what will happen. I had like 8 fake classes for a simple block system with what uh, three controllers three controllers, and I had 8 fake services. Imagine what will happen if you have a huge enterprise system in which you have like 500 controllers. Your solution will be bloated with fake classes. So with mocking in mind, we have that covered. And let's see what else we can fake. Image service test. Fake web client service just specifies this, and fake image processor service just sets this. I'm going to leave this as your homework, so if you want to exercise the mocking, just download the solution from the GitHub repository I showed you and try to, using the same concept and the same approach I used, try to replace the fake web client service and the fake image processor service in the image service test. Just try it out. It's essentially the same concept we did in the iMage service here. Try it out, because learning happens when you practice. That's the main rule you should follow in your education. If you watch me do this, I know that it won't be helpful to you, but if you practice a bit with your fingers, then it will stick in your head. Okay guys, that was it for now. I would like to just say that if you're using ASP.NET Core or the old ASP.NET framework, make sure you check out my tools for cutting your testing time. These tools just allow you to write easier unit and integration tests. It doesn't matter what your web app is for, it just as long as it has controllers and services, you may take a look at the project. It will help you a lot, I promise. Okay guys, this was it for today's video. Thank you, and I'm going to see you in my next one.